Doctors, listen up, this is for you because the landscape is changing. Gone are the days where you just went to medical school, you came out of medical school, got a job, worked for 30 years and then retired with a massive pension. Those days are gone. I'm Dr. Nix and I'm a portfolio doctor. I work in clinical practice, but also I'm a financial and career coach for other doctors, and I run a global music festival, and I'm here to help guide you to a fulfilling portfolio career. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss why I think that the traditional doctor is dying, if not already dead, and why you should probably consider a portfolio career. So I'm going to make the case for it, and we'll go through some of the downsides to a portfolio career, and then afterwards you can make the choice yourself. So let's take it back first. Let's scroll back and think about how employment and skills worked in the past. So first we had the agricultural age, where you essentially just found a farmer, someone who had land, and you went to work with them. Then you had the industrial age, where you needed people who could operate machinery. And then we moved into the more professional age, where people started to get educated, went to school, and then professionals took over: doctors, lawyers, pharmacists. And then we had the oil and gas boom, then we had the IT boom, and then we had the dot-com bubble, and then now we're in the digital era where everything is online post-COVID, and AI is threatening to take most people's jobs. If you're a doctor, you probably have a bit of time, but not that much, because as far as I'm concerned, one skill is not enough in this era anymore. Gone are the days where you could just come in, do one task, do one skill, and that would be enough. I believe that you need to have multiple options. Now, let me make the case for why I think everyone should at least consider a portfolio career. First of all, you have freedom and flexibility. You're not tied to a single employer. You can work. There was a point in time I was working in the NHS and I was working in the private sector, and I just decided, actually, I don't want to work. I want to take a month off. I want to take time off. I want to go traveling. I don't need to do both of these jobs at the same time. I can pick one or the other. Aside from jobs in itself as well, you have the flexibility to do other things that you're interested in. So for example, I write for the BMJ and I enjoy it. I like writing. It's one of my skills. It's one of my passions that I've had since I was in sixth form, and I get to demonstrate that still within the medical field, but it also gives me extra income and flexibility and exposure to other sectors. So I love it. I love the freedom and I like the flexibility. I'm not at the mercy of one employer. The second thing is, it gives you diversified income, multiple streams of income. There was a point in time where I wasn't working, I wasn't traditionally going to work, I wasn't going to NHS work, but I was still getting income from the other portfolio activities that I was doing, and it was fine for me because wasn't relying on depending on my NHS income. It also future-proofs your career, because if you have developed multiple skills, then you can pivot very easily. Like I said, I do writing, I've worked in the private sector, I've worked in the public sector, I've run events, I've done project management, I've done so many different things, and so I have varied skills where I could pretty much jump into any job that I wanted to, or tailor my CV to that, because I have the skill set because I've done it. So it allows you to future-proof your career. I'm not saying sticking with a traditional career is all doom and gloom. It does have its merits. It provides you with stability. It provides you with focus. You can focus all of your attention on one thing. Not everybody is good at doing multiple things at the same time. But here's the thing, you still need to evolve, because not only is AI coming, there are restrictions on doctors being employed. There are competition ratios for getting into training. Governments are stopping spending when it comes to doctors. Their value in the world or in society is reducing because people don't value doctors as much as they used to do. People go onto ChatGPT now to diagnose themselves. They don't feel that they need to be paying doctors this amount of money. People buy their own Ozempic online. And so your value or your intrinsic value depends on what the market are willing to pay for it. So I'm not saying don't be a traditional doctor. You can, but just be aware of the risks of being unemployed or relying on a sole employer. Because if the NHS decide that actually pension age is going up to 75, or if the government decide it's going up to 75, what can you do? You're at the behest of that single employer. Now, whether or not you decide to go down the traditional route or go down the portfolio route, here are 3 skills that I think that you need regardless. One is to be financially literate. Get yourself clued up in finances. Whether you have a portfolio career or you have a traditional career, you have an income that you want to turn into wealth. So make sure you're financially literate. If you want to sign up to my newsletter, I send out weekly insights onto how to become financially literate and how to make the most of your 9-to-5 income to generate wealth. The second thing you want to do is to become a little bit entrepreneurial in terms of being able to market yourself, whether that's in the portfolio world or as a traditional doctor. You want to be able to sell yourself, you want to be able to develop skills, you want to have a USP. You want to be able to spot opportunities. And thirdly, you need to become digitally savvy. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we are living in the digital era. Everything is online now. I would personally say that you should try and get online, but if you can't and you want to stay in this traditional role, at least understand how to use technology, understand how to communicate with the wider public, understand how to communicate within your work environment using digital tools. And if you're someone who wants to leave clinical medicine or leave the NHS, transitioning into the private sector takes these skills. And this is what I do with some of my clients in getting them ready for transitioning out of the clinical medicine, and also for those who want to stay in clinical medicine but develop a portfolio career. So should you pursue a portfolio career or should you go down the traditional doctor route? Well, the choice is yours. Share your thoughts, share your comments below. I'd be very happy to hear the arguments for and against. And all I can say is good luck.